Okay, the scenario is like this. Today, I got an email from Daniel Berg's secretary, and she attached a notice of deposition to the email. So we're going to go to Calendar Manager, or you can also use this icon right here. It's a brand new job, so I'm just going to go ahead and right click and new. The first thing you will do is look up a contact, which is the noticing attorney. This is a grayed out field, which means that you always have to use the binoculars to look up something. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. You can type any part of the name, first name, last name, any part of it. So I'm going to say Berg, enter, and Daniel Berg, that's the one I want. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. Now, as I select an attorney, I notice that the firm name comes up and they have a warning messages for me. As you take your mouse to the warning symbol, it'll show you the warning for the attorney and also a warning for the entire firm. So whether that firm is a COD, no more depots, things like that will be the really good thing to put it into the warning field for the client. Now in the ordered by drop down, there is the secretary's name, Marian. If not, you can put somebody else's name in there if somebody is temporarily working for attorney. Attorney needs somebody tomorrow. Again, remember the 5 o'clock comes up, so I'm going to change that to 10 a.m. I don't know how long it's going to go on, so 6 o'clock is a good ending time. The reason I have a 6 o'clock as an ending time is to not give a reporter an idea the job will be short and she can get out and do something else. Since I don't know how long job's going to go, I'm going to assume the worst all day. There's my time zone. All these come in default. This is a default. This is a default. Now, witness name is John Smith. Now, I look at the case name. Again, I need to look up, so I'm going to hit the binoculars. It looks like this is the Smith versus a bad company. So I'm going to type a keyword and see if we have that case already in our system. We have done this case before. Enter. And I got some bad company cases here, but I don't see the Smith versus a bad company. So I'm going to go ahead and set up a new case. Smith versus bad company. So that's just a brief caption. And at this point, that's all I know about this case. I don't know anything about anything else. So save and close. So I just set up a brand new case called Smith versus bad company. And this job will be the very first deposition under this case. Let's go to the location tab. If the secretary says the depot will be at our office, then all I have to do is check this box, same location as ordering client. Additional information tab, we have a notation. What is a notation? I'll talk about a little more in detail later sessions. So I'm just going to put in this is going to be a real-time video job. And job's going to be in Orange County. Now, as soon as we save this job, we will be sending out an email confirmation to the client, and it's going to list everything that I put into the job, plus this note. So anything that you want to tell your client, put it in here. Anything you want to tell your reporter, okay, put it down here. So those are the extra notes fields that you need to put in. Videographer has been called, Spanish interpreter has been arranged, all the things that you want to let your client know. At this point, I'll save the job, at which time that I'll get my job number issued, and I get a bunch more tabs come up. Two things I want to do. First, I want to go to notes log. Some notes are entered by the system automatically, so this tells me who created the job when in your office. Remember I said I have an email from a client? Wouldn't you like to save that email for the future reference in case there's a dispute as to who said what? Definitely yes. Now, I know the email will be in my Outlook, but 6 months from now, try to look for that email will be a lot of effort. So let's go ahead and put it in here. Say, I'd like to make a new note for this job. Why are you making this note? Because I have received an email. Where is the email? Oh, it's right here. So I'm going to switch to my email. Let's say this is the email. So this is the email from the secretary. So I'm going to copy. And I'm going to go to my job and I'm going to paste here. And then I'm going to say save and close. So just like that, I permanently recorded that email content into my notes log for this job. Good thing about this notes log is that it cannot be deleted because there's no delete option, nor can it be tampered with or modified. So people cannot play with date, time, person's name, anything like that. So any notes goes in here will permanently stay like that. The second thing I'm going to do is, I also told you that email also had a notice of deposition attached. Again, I like to have that saved permanently for future reference, and also I need to send it to the court reporter when I assign and notify them. That'll be done automatically by RB. But for RB to do that, I need to go ahead and put it into the repository. So let's go to job level repository. I'm going to say I have a new file. I like to put it in there. I'm going to go to my desktop where I have my notices just downloaded just now. Let's say that's my notice file. And I need to change my file type to notice to let RB8 know that this is the notice for this job. I like to publish it to make it available to clients and to the reporters through RB Web, in case you have RB Web. And you might want to just simply say, I'm going to just put a little comment here saying this is for notice of deposition. And just like that, this file is now permanently archived. I'm done. So we have one job scheduled this afternoon, and I get another fax coming in, this time from a different law firm. Again, this fax is a notice that she printed and she faxed it. So let's go ahead and take that. So again, I'm going to go right click, new, and look up a contact, Mr. Pettit, Stephen Pettit. Well, I happen to have him, so I'm going to select. Oh, COD. I'm not sure about this firm. Let me look at the warning. Oh, no more depots for this loser. Call D first. I stopped and I called D, and D goes, no problem, because we just got the cashier's check for $5,000 to do 3 depositions for this guy as a retainer, and go ahead and book the job. So, okay. Actually, I'm going to make a note of that so that my calendar manager, D, will not say something else later. So I'm just going to say attorney himself. And he also needs a reporter for tomorrow. At this time, it's going to be 1:30 p.m. This is a Young Lee, and he's a medical expert. And I'm going to look up a case, something about Merck and Lee versus Merck. So now I found the case. The reason I'm looking up all the time is so that I don't enter duplicate cases. It's always a good practice to look up existing cases by using a keyword and just make sure that someone else hasn't studied this case already. I'm going to select this case rather than setting up a new case. I'm going to go to location. This time the fax says that it's going to be at the courthouse. So I can look up all the courthouses, arbitration centers, doctor's office, hospitals, conference rooms, in-house. All that will be in a table called location. So you change that to location, look up and type court, and all the courthouses that you guys enter will pop up. And let's say today we need to be here. It's going to be room 4211, Judge Smith's chamber. Additional information. Nothing due. I'm going to save. We're going to go to repository. Now, that fax that came in, normally if you're not been using RB and you are manual, most likely you will be putting that notice into some kind of a vanilla folder and put it into your filing cabinet. And my filing cabinet is bulging with all these notices and documents. Well, we don't want that. So have a little scanner on your desktop. I can just scan a page at a time. And I just did that. And with that, I'm going to go, and let's say this was the notice there. And again, we're going to say this is a notice. We're going to publish that. Now I put that permanently there, and I shred that fax. We don't need that. And then I'm going to also make a note saying I got the job with a fax. So fax received. And I'm going to say notice received and scanned. Save that. We're going to save and close. I get a call 3 days later from Marion from Bergsteiner's office about that Smith versus Bad Company, and she goes, hey Young, job that on Smith versus Bad Company, that expert testimony, I need a couple more depots for you. When that happens, there's no reason to set that up as a brand new job because I don't want to re-enter all that information, right? So you can find the job by using any of these filters here. On the left-hand side, You can find your calendar using a date, case, client, firm, either attorney, or who ordered it, like a secretary's name, or witness name. So using all these filters, you found this job. Once you found it, you go right-click and use a copy command. Now in RB7, for those of you coming from the RB7, this function was called replicate single and replicate multiple. We don't need that distinction anymore because copy, a single command, will give you ability to set up multiple jobs within it. So let's say I'm going to go in there, copy. Then it's going to basically copy everything except the job date. Now since secretary told me 2 days, I'm going to go into the multiple dates mode. Click this button at the top, says set multiple dates. And then job date, I'm going to look it up. You have one of two ways you can set up multiple jobs. For example, if you're going to court for court appearances or proceedings or trial presentation for weeks, then this scheduler will be perfect. You have a start date, you have an end date, and you have the days of the week. If not, then if somebody's giving you just a couple, 2-3 days, then go into the fixed dates mode and simply click and say, okay, we need another one. We're going to try next Monday, and hopefully we can wrap it up on January 29th. Everything is fine. Okay. And this time, and then I'm going to say this is the science and engineering guru. Everything else is same. So I'm going to go, okay. So we just scheduled 2 jobs. Oh, by the way, secretary goes, oh, you know, the second one though, it's not going to be 10 o'clock. I think we need to be 1:30 after lunch. Go double click into that. And I'm going to change the time to 1:30 p.m. and save that. So this is still faster than entering one job at a time with a different time. So if you have multiple jobs you're scheduling, if one has a different time, just go ahead and schedule it in a multiple mode and then change the time. Because when you do that, we'll make a note for you. So if I go back to this job, if you look at the notes log, you see that RB8 will record someone in your office changed the job time from 10 o'clock to 1:30. So you will know who did it, when they did it exactly. That's why the notes log is very important here. Let's talk about a couple more things when you schedule a job. Hey, Young, you know, when I get a notice of deposition in the email or fax to me, it also obviously has the other parties that are involved in the job. Where do I put that in for the court reporter? So the court reporter will know all the attorneys who will show up at the depot. We call that job parties. So let's go back to this case here, Smith versus the job for tomorrow. And let me go ahead and sort by the job days. So I'll see the first one up there. Okay, so let me go double click to that. You see the parties tab here. And right now, only party we have is the ordering client. That is automatically put in there for us. And then looking at the notice that I see another attorney's name, opposing counsel. So if you're a calendar person that wanted to put as much information you can put it into at the calendar time, will help obviously everybody else, like your reporters and also production and billing later. So let me go ahead and do new, because I happen to have the notice in front of me. And then I'm going to look up contact. And this is the Timothy Rice. Now, if you don't have that attorney, then here you can hit the new button and add that attorney into the database. I'm going to go ahead and select that attorney. And everything else, I don't really know who represents what, but at this point doesn't matter. All I want to do is just put the attorney in there. So now I have 2 parties in there, noticing attorney and opposing counsel, that are listed on the notice of deposition. So you can do that also.